After I announced my pregnancy, my SIL tried to embarrass me at a family party. Things escalated fast, and she was arrested. I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but my therapist actually suggested I get it out, and a friend said this belongs here. Buckle up, because this went from awkward family drama to full-blown chaos faster than I could say. I'm pregnant. I'm 28F, married to my husband Mark, 30M, for 3 years. We've been together since college, and overall, our marriage is solid. Not perfect, but loving, supportive, and stable. The problem has always been his sister. Let's call her Rachel, 34F. From the moment Mark and I got serious, Rachel made it very clear she didn't like me. Not in an obvious, cartoon villain way. No, she specialized in subtle digs. Backhanded compliments. Eye rolls. Jokes that landed just a little too hard. The kind where if you react, you're the problem. Examples? Wow, you're brave for wearing that. Mark usually dates different types. Must be nice not having a real career and still affording things. I tried. God, I tried. I smiled. I laughed it off. I brought wine. I helped in the kitchen. I remembered birthdays. I told myself, she's just protective of her brother. It'll pass. It didn't. Rachel is loud, charismatic, and the center of attention in her family. She still lives like she's the main character in a reality show. Dramatic relationships, constant social media posts, and a deep need to be admired. Mark's parents adore her. She could do no wrong. Mark? He knows she's a lot, but years of conditioning have taught him to keep the peace. Fast forward to 3 months ago. I found out I was pregnant. It wasn't planned, but it also wasn't unwanted. When I saw the test, my hands were shaking. Mark cried. Actualités. We sat on a bathroom floor laughing and crying like idiots. For the first time in my life, the future didn't scare me. It felt real and warm and possible. We decided to wait until the next family gathering to announce it. His parents were hosting a big summer party, barbecue, extended family, friends, kids running around. Mark thought it would be perfect. I hesitated. Rachel would be there, but I didn't want fear to steal my joy. This was my moment too. So I wore a loose dress. I practiced what I'd say. I imagined hugs, happy tears, maybe even Rachel being civil for once. I know, naive. The party started normally. Food, music, laughter. Mark's mom kept refilling everyone's plates like we were about to survive a famine. Rachel arrived late, sunglasses on, phone in hand, already filming Instagram stories. She looked me up and down when she saw me. Wow, she said loudly. You look different. I smiled. Thanks. She tilted her head. Are you sick or something? Mark shot her a warning look. She smirked. About an hour in, Mark clinked his glass and got everyone's attention. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might faint. He took my hand. We have some news, he said. I took a breath. We're having a baby. There was a half-second of silence, and then cheers. Applause. His mom gasped and started crying. His dad hugged Mark so hard he nearly knocked him over. People rushed toward me, congratulating us, touching my hands, asking questions. For a moment, everything was perfect. Then I heard Rachel laugh. Not a happy laugh. A sharp, cutting one. Oh my God, she said loudly. You're kidding, right? The crowd quieted again. I felt my stomach drop. Rachel, Mark said, tense. What the hell? She waved her hand dismissively. I'm just surprised. That's all. She looked straight at me. I mean, how far along are you? Almost 13 weeks, I said, my voice shaking despite my best efforts. She raised her eyebrows. Wow, so you waited that long to tell us? Interesting. I didn't even understand what she was implying yet, but I could feel it coming. That sick, crawling feeling up your spine when you know someone is about to hurt you on purpose. Then she said it. Well, Rachel laughed. I guess congratulations are in order. Assuming it's Mark's. The words hung in the air like smoke. People gasped. Someone said, Rachel. His mom looked horrified. Mark froze. I felt like I'd been slapped. What? I whispered. Rachel shrugged, smiling. I'm just saying, you were always friendly. And let's be honest, accidents happen, especially when someone's desperate to lock things down. I could hear my pulse in my ears. My face burned. My hands instinctively moved to my stomach. Mark exploded. Get the hell out. Now. Rachel rolled her eyes. Relax. It's a joke. It's not funny, he snapped. She stepped closer to me. Hey, if the baby is yours, great. If not, well, surprises are kind of your thing, right? Something inside me broke. I opened my mouth to respond, but Rachel wasn't done. She pulled out her phone. Actually, she said brightly, since we're all sharing big news, I thought I'd share something too. And that's where everything truly went off the rails. Rachel holding her phone like that, smiling, confident, absolutely certain she had control of the moment, is an image burned into my brain. I think it's only fair, she continued, tapping her screen, that everyone knows who they're congratulating. Mark stepped in front of me instantly. Put the phone away. Right now. Oh, relax, she said. It's already uploaded. That's when my phone started vibrating in my hand. Then Mark's. Then his cousins. Then his aunts. Notifications. Over and over. Rachel had just posted an Instagram story. A very carefully edited one. It was a photo of me from last Christmas, leaning forward, laughing at something someone said. Innocent. Except she'd zoomed in, cropped it tightly, and added text across the screen. When your brother's wife doesn't know who the father is eyes. Below that, another slide. 13 weeks pregnant. Math isn't mathing thinking face. My ears rang. My throat closed up so hard I couldn't even cry. I felt exposed. Humiliated. Like my body wasn't mine anymore. Like it was entertainment. Delete it, Mark said through clenched teeth. Delete it now. Rachel laughed. Why? It's just social media. You're so sensitive. That was when Mark's mom finally snapped. Rachel Elizabeth, she said sharply. You take that down this instant or so help me. Oh, come on, Mom, Rachel interrupted. If she has nothing to hide, what's the problem? I found my voice then, shaky but loud enough. You're doing this because you hate me. Rachel turned to me slowly. Hate you? No. I just think it's funny how you pretend to be so perfect. I've done nothing to you, I said. She leaned in close, lowering her voice. You took my brother. You took the attention. And now you're taking this too. There it was. Raw. Ugly. Honest. Mark grabbed her arm. You're done. Leave. She yanked herself free. Don't touch me. At this point, half the party was staring. Kids had gone quiet. Someone turned off the music. You could feel the tension like static in the air. Rachel lifted her phone again. And just so everyone knows, she announced loudly, this pregnancy is the reason Mark proposed so fast. Shotgun wedding vibes, right? That's a lot. I shouted. We've been married for 3 years. She shrugged. Sure, that's your version. I was shaking uncontrollably now. Not just from anger, from fear. I could feel that awful tightness in my lower abdomen that every pregnant woman dreads. Stress cramps. Warning signs. I whispered to Mark, I need to sit down. Rachel heard me. Oh, wow, she said dramatically. Is she going to faint? Classic. That's when something snapped in me. I stepped forward. You want the truth? Here it is. I've never cheated on your brother. Not once. I love him. This baby is wanted, planned, and none of your damn business. People murmured. Rachel rolled her eyes again. Prove it, she said. What? Prove it, she repeated. Show us something. Messages. Dates. Ultrasounds. Something. I stared at her in disbelief. You don't get to demand proof of my pregnancy. She smirked. Guess that answers that. Before anyone could stop her, Rachel reached out and grabbed my wrist. Let go of me. I screamed. She pulled hard. If you're telling the truth, you won't mind. Mark shoved her away from me. Don't touch her. Rachel stumbled back, knocking over a table. Glass shattered. Someone screamed. And then, like she'd been waiting for this, Rachel started crying. He attacked me, she yelled. Mark just attacked me. That's when I noticed what she was doing. She was recording. Phone up. Tears on cue. Voice trembling. My brother just assaulted me, she said into the camera. All because I asked a simple question. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt like it was collapsing. Mark's dad stepped in. Rachel, stop this nonsense. But she wasn't listening anymore. She was in full performance mode. You all see this, she sobbed. This is what I get for telling the truth. Then she turned the phone on me. And you, she hissed quietly enough that only I could hear, you're not welcome in this family. Something inside me went cold. Call an ambulance, I said suddenly. Please. Everyone froze. Mark looked at me, panicked. What's wrong? I'm krampen, he whispered. Bad. Rachel scoffed. Oh, please. Now she's milking it. That's when Mark's mom screamed. That's enough. Someone call 911. Rachel laughed nervously. For what? Drama? But the call had already been made. And Rachel didn't realize yet that this time she'd gone way too far. The moment Mark's mom said, I already called 911, the entire atmosphere shifted. Rachel's confidence flickered just for a second, like a light bulb struggling before it burns out. She forced a laugh, loud and sharp. Oh my God, you people are insane, she said. Calling the police because she has period cramps? I'm pregnant, I whispered, barely holding myself upright. My vision was blurring at the edges. And I'm bleeding. That shut everyone up. Mark dropped to his knees in front of me instantly. What? What do you mean bleeding? I don't know, I said, my voice breaking. I just feel wrong. Rachel's face hardened. She's lying, she said flatly. This is manipulation. She does this. I had never wanted to disappear more in my life. Mark scooped me up, ignoring Rachel entirely, and carried me inside. Someone grabbed towels. Someone else grabbed water. His mom was crying. His dad kept pacing, muttering prayers under his breath. Rachel followed us inside anyway. Of course she did. She leaned against the doorway, arms crossed, phone still recording. Wow, she said. This is Oscar-worthy. Mark turned on her so fast, I thought he might actually lose it. Get out, he said quietly. Right now. She smiled. Or what? Rachel, his father said sternly, leave. She scoffed. You're all choosing her over me? After everything. What exactly have you done except humiliate a pregnant woman? His mother yelled. Rachel's eyes flashed. She humiliated herself. That's when I felt a sharp pain, so sudden and intense that I screamed. Everything blurred after that. I remember Mark shouting my name. I remember his mom pushing Rachel away from me. I remember Rachel saying, she's faking it, right as sirens wailed in the distance. And then I remember Rachel doing the one thing that sealed her fate. She stepped closer to me and said, loudly, clearly, and on camera, if she loses it, that's not my fault. Maybe her body just knows she shouldn't be a mother. Silence. Absolute, horrified silence. Mark stood up slowly. I want her out of this house, he said. If she stays, I'm leaving. With my wife. Rachel rolled her eyes. So dramatic. The paramedics arrived seconds later. 2 EMTs rushed in with a stretcher. They asked me questions. Pain level, bleeding, how far along? I answered as best I could while Mark held my hand like he was afraid I'd disappear. Rachel tried to talk to them. She's exaggerating, she said. She just wants attention. One of the EMTs looked at her and said, Ma'am, please step back. Rachel laughed. You should see her Instagram. She loves attention. That's when the police arrived. 2 officers walked in, calm, professional, assessing the chaos. One immediately noticed the overturned table, the broken glass, the crying guests. The other noticed Rachel still holding her phone up. What happened here? The taller officer asked. Before anyone else could speak, Rachel launched into her version. My brother assaulted me, she said dramatically. The officer raised an eyebrow. Is that so? Yes, she said, pointing at Mark. He shoved me. Mark opened his mouth, but the officer held up a hand. And what about her? The officer asked, nodding toward me on the stretcher. Rachel shrugged. She's unstable. That was a mistake. Several people spoke at once. She grabbed her first. She humiliated her online. She wouldn't stop. She's pregnant. The officer's expression hardened. Ma'am, he said to Rachel, do you mind if I see the video you're recording? Rachel hesitated, just for a second. Then she smiled and handed him the phone. Of course. Transparency is important. The officer watched. His face changed. He handed the phone to his partner. They watched the Instagram story. The captions. The accusations. The part where she grabbed my wrist. The shove that came after. The comment about if she loses it. Rachel started talking again. You have to understand. Ma'am, the officer interrupted. Do you realize this is evidence? Rachel laughed nervously. Evidence of what? A joke, the EMT suddenly said. Officer, We need to go. Her blood pressure is spiking. Mark climbed into the ambulance with me. As the doors closed, I saw Rachel through the window, still standing there, arms crossed, convinced she'd won. She hadn't realized yet that the story wasn't over. Because as the ambulance pulled away, I heard one of the officers say, "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to put your hands behind your back." And for the first time all day, Rachel looked scared that I didn't see the handcuffs go on. I heard about them later, in fragments, through tears, through the beeping of hospital monitors, through Mark's shaking voice as he tried to stay strong for both of us. The ambulance ride was a blur of white lights and pressure cuffs and questions I could barely answer. All I could think was, please, please, please be okay. I kept my hands over my stomach like I could physically protect the baby from the damage already done. Mark never let go of my hand. At the hospital, everything moved fast. Too fast. Nurses, doctors, paperwork. I was wheeled into a room, changed into a gown, hooked up to monitors, blood tests, ultrasound prep, and waiting. That horrible, soul-crushing waiting. Mark paced the room like a caged animal. Every time a nurse walked by, he looked up like this is it. This is the moment everything changes. Finally, a doctor came in. I don't remember every word she said, but I remember the important part. The baby has a strong heartbeat. I sobbed, like full body, gasping sobs. Mark dropped into the chair next to me and buried his face in my shoulder, crying too. Relief flooded me, so hard I felt dizzy. The bleeding was caused by extreme stress. The doctor continued. You're going to need rest. No more emotional shocks. And absolutely no contact with whoever caused this. Mark nodded like he was being given orders in a war zone. She won't be anywhere near us. Ever. After the doctor left, Mark stepped out to make calls. I lay there, exhausted, staring at the ceiling, trying to process everything. That's when his mom came in. Her eyes were red and swollen. She looked older somehow, like the day had aged her years. "I am so sorry," she said immediately. "I had no idea. I should have stopped her sooner." She sat by my bed and took my hand gently. What Rachel did, it was unforgivable. I swallowed. What's happening with her? She exhaled shakily. She was arrested. Even hearing the word felt unreal. Arrested? I repeated. His mom nodded. Disorderly conduct. Harassment. Assault. She paused. And making a false police report. Apparently, while I was being taken to the hospital, Rachel doubled down. She insisted Mark had assaulted her. She kept talking, kept contradicting herself, kept filming, even after being told to stop. And the worst part? She tried to delete the Instagram story once she realized the police had seen it. But it was too late. Half the party had already screen-recorded everything. One of Mark's cousins, bless her forever, had sent the videos directly to the officers, including the part where Rachel grabbed my wrist, including the comment about me losing it, including the fake crying. Rachel had handed them a case gift-wrapped in her own ego. When Mark came back into the room, his face was pale but determined. "She's being charged," he said quietly, "and she's blaming you." Of course she was. She's saying you provoked her, that you faked the pregnancy, that you're manipulating everyone. I laughed weakly. She really can't stop. Can she? No, he said, but we can. Over the next few days, the fallout was massive. Rachel was released on bail that night. She immediately went online, because of course she did, and posted a long, rambling Facebook post about being betrayed by her family and falsely accused. She didn't name me. She didn't have to. People connected the dots instantly. Comments poured in. Not the kind she was used to. "This isn't the flex you think it is. You assaulted a pregnant woman. Get help. Your family deserves better." She deleted the post within hours. Mark's parents told her she was no longer welcome at family gatherings until further notice. Mark told her he was going no contact until she took full responsibility for what she'd done. She responded by texting him 37 times in one night. Apologies, insults, guilt trips, rage, all unread. As for me, I slept. I cried. I started therapy. I replayed everything over and over in my head, wondering if I could have done something differently. The answer, according to my therapist, was simple. "No," she said. "You didn't cause this. You survived it. But Rachel wasn't done yet. Not even close. Because 2 weeks later, I got a call that made my blood run cold. Rachel had filed a civil lawsuit against me for emotional distress. And suddenly, the worst day of my life wasn't over. It was just evolving. When I heard the word "she's suing you," I actually laughed. Not because it was funny, but because my brain genuinely couldn't process any more absurdity. It felt like the universe had crossed a line from tragedy into dark comedy and just kept going. What does she even think she's suing me for? I asked Mark. Emotional distress, he said, rubbing his face. She claims you publicly humiliated her and turned the family against her. I stared at the wall. She assaulted a pregnant woman at a family party while filming it. I know, he said. The lawyer knows. Everyone knows. We hired an attorney recommended by one of Mark's coworkers. A calm, sharp woman who watched the videos once sighed and said, "This is going nowhere." Rachel's lawsuit was a mess. No evidence. Contradictory statements. And the cherry on top? Her own Instagram stories and recordings were entered as exhibits. Turns out, deleting something from the internet doesn't magically erase screen recordings. Rachel had unintentionally documented her own downfall in HD. During mediation, she refused to apologize. She insisted she was the victim. She claimed hormones had made me aggressive. The mediator looked exhausted. The case was dismissed within weeks. But the legal consequences didn't end there. Because the criminal charges stuck, Rachel was required to attend anger management classes, ordered to perform community service, and formally warned that any further contact with me would result in harsher penalties. A restraining order followed. Mark went completely no contact. That was 6 months ago. Today, I'm sitting in our nursery, writing this while my baby kicks gently inside me. The walls are soft green. There's a half-assembled crib behind me and a pile of tiny clothes I still can't believe are real. My relationship with Mark's parents has changed, in a good way. They've apologized more times than I can count. They show up. They protect me. They don't excuse Rachel anymore. As for Rachel, she moved out of state. Her social media went private. Family updates come with a quiet disclaimer. We don't talk about her. Sometimes I still replay that party in my head. The laughter, the humiliation, the fear. The moment I thought I might lose everything because someone needed to feel superior. But I also remember something else. The moment Mark chose me. Not quietly, not diplomatically, publicly, loudly, without hesitation. I learned something important through all of this. Pregnancy doesn't make you weak. It shows you exactly who will stand between you and the fire. And who is the fire? If you're reading this and dealing with a toxic in-law, here's my advice. Document everything. Trust your instincts. And never let someone convince you that your pain is entertainment. Some people implode when they're no longer the center of attention. And sometimes they do in handcuffs.